very much. We'll move forward to the next question. I think that picks up on the point that was made. Do you want to tackle that one? I think we will. Many people are very reluctant to reduce their energy consumption. How will you and your party motivate them? And we'll start with Denzil Coulson.
We've always been trying to motivate people to actually look at their energy use, recycle more, try and reduce their carbon footprint, get involved in cycling, and obviously one of the things that we have to lead by example on as well is that people can only be green if we make it possible for them to do so. We need massive reinvestment in public transport, especially the train networks, because one of the biggest carbon emitters is domestic air travel. If we cut out the domestic air travel and actually made high-speed rail a feature of the UK economy, then it doesn't necessitate having to fly from here, from London to Edinburgh to Glasgow or Manchester. And then you can seriously reduce the carbon footprint. We have to make that possible, reorientate the investments from building a third runway at Heathrow and rather be spending that money on high-speed rail. I've seen high-speed rail work in Taiwan. It takes an hour and a half to get from the south of the island to the north, whereas you normally drive, it takes 4 hours. It takes about the same time, the amount of time as you go by aeroplane. So it is possible. We just have to reorientate our priorities. And we've always been pushing that, the transport agenda, very strongly and trying to motivate people to do it. But unless government has the will to do that, we can't expect people to follow.
James Arbuthnot.
Well, I've already talked about the Green Deal. We want to offer every household in Britain up to £6,500 to change the energy output of your house. I know that the greening initiative in Hartley Witney hasn't achieved the buy-in that I would like to see, and I hope that it will gradually be able to achieve more of a buy-in. But perhaps if there is a bit of an incentive, a financial incentive from central government to insulate your homes, that would be another way of doing it. Energy bills must be a great deal clearer, I think, so that it must be possible for you to work out how you can reduce your energy. And with modern technology now, with smart meters, that is possible. And it ought to be possible for us to be able to generate electricity in our own on our own roofs, for example, with solar panels. It's been a wonderful couple of weeks for Barry and Denzil and me, very sunny, but you could have been raising an awful lot of electricity while we've been raising an awful lot of hot air. The final thing I'd say is that it would be good to see, I entirely agree with Denzil about the need to improve public transport. But it would also be good to see the kick-starting of a network of electric cars that could power themselves and charge themselves up throughout the country, so that people would be able to have electric cars that generated, that used electricity that was generated in as friendly a way as possible. But you'll only have that if you have electricity points at convenient places. So that's one of the things that the Conservatives will do if we get into power.
Okay. Barry Jones.
Yes, I mean, one of the problems about the private car is it gets you from where you want to be to where you want to be. And I'm afraid that this election has had me in my car a lot more than I would normally be. It would be great if I happened to want to go to Arbuthnot, if there was a bus from Farnborough that took me there on a regular basis. But there is a problem that the networks aren't there to enable anything approaching door-to-door transport in most areas. I'm actually quite lucky where I live, in that one of Hampshire County's best cooperative efforts with one of the local bus companies runs from a couple of hundred yards from where I live, and that's the Stagecoach Route 1, which goes from Aldershot to Cambridge. And I can go out there and I know there'll be a bus in 10 minutes. And that, I know of no better way to persuade me to leave the car at home than to know I can turn up at the bus stop and there will be a bus. It doesn't matter where I go, I know there'll be a bus. So if we were going to change people's behaviours, we've got to actually make it attractive to do things in a different way. So the networks of alternative services are important. As James said, encouraging people to insulate their homes, encouraging people to use, where they do use private cars, to use efficient cars. All of these things are important, and they are things that government can do something about.
Okay. I think for most people the difficulty is it's hard to see how they can actually take a step forward. And I think there was a picture in the paper, wasn't it, this week of 14 wheelie bins or something you need to meet the recycling requirements, which would cover most people's garden. Never mind.